thought I missed the food on Corneria.
Wolf's a simple but fan-favorite villain in games. He's not too overly complicated in design or in motivations or anything like that, but he gets the job done with personality to spare. Whenever I see this guy in a game, I just can't help but get a little hype for him. In Smash Ultimate, this is definitely no different. Wolf brings a dapper tune to villainy that no other character in Ultimate has, and for that, I really love this character. The last time we saw Wolf was back in Brawl, and he was pretty darn good. Now, don't get me wrong though, he wasn't insane or anything, and he had some straight up awful matchups because of chain grabs on him, but in general, he could get the job done. In Ultimate, Wolf brings his power from the previous entry in addition to a superior combo game, longer range, and the potential to camp, as well as some awesome juggling power and more speed than ever before. Wolf's just kind of one of those characters that doesn't look broken in Ultimate, but almost every single move and attribute about him has been buffed and just seems great. And for that, I'm going to say he's definitely one of my most hyped characters. For more future info on Wolf, hit subscribe as I'll be giving any updated information on him and every other character in Smash Ultimate to boot, along with more advanced tips as Wolf as the game goes on. Anyways, here we'll be going over the most important things / the best parts about the character. Now I won't be going over every single part of the character's frame data, but there will be linked in the description down below if you want to read up on it. Anyways, the most important change to Wolf, at least in my opinion in this game, is definitely his speed. For being such a hard-hitting character, he is really fast and has a ton of movement options. His dash speed, air speed, walk speed, and air momentum are all far beyond what I expected for Wolf, a traditionally not, way too quick character. Now with that said, I don't feel like they are too fast though. You have the speed that you need to get in and out, to get combos, to get your damage, to bait and punish, but you won't be losing control of your characters like some other characters might. Let's move on to his attacks, starting off with his Nair, and I'm going to say this is one of his best changes to his moves, definitely this time around. Instead of just being a pretty useless multi-hit move that he had in the past, Wolf was blessed with essentially a Fox Nair that can combo to other attacks, and that is essentially safe on shield. As well with this, it can cross up along with his dash attack, and overall this Nair just gives Wolf so many more options than ever before, and gives him a lot of options to actually get in, get close, and get damage started. Speaking of his aerials, his forward air and up air now also both combo much better than ever before, and actually act like pseudo swords for the character, kind of similar to Martha Lucina. And while his back air is a lot slower than it was in Brawl, and honestly probably a lot worse, it is still extremely strong, kills super early, and actually does 18% per hit, so it isn't too bad. Another thing that is much better this time around has got to be his forward tilt. Now this thing actually outranges most of Roy's attacks. Yeah, a guy with a sword gets outranged by a guy with claws. And as well, yeah, it does 14% itself around, which is just kind of outrageous. Add that to the fact that this thing can actually kill later on, and you got yourself one of Wolf's bread and butter attacks for sure. A move that I think everybody thought was going to initially be awful for Wolf is going to be his forward smash. Now this thing used to have a ton of range and a ton of power from the previous game, and overall in this game it just kind of looked underwhelming because it was so short range and pretty slow. That is until we learned one thing about it. This thing, like Meta Knight's forward smash, is actually safe on shield. That means if you hit the opponent, then that's great, you're going to send them flying. But if you just hit their shield, which is normally really bad for a smash attack because they can punish you because there's so much end lag, well, they're not going to be able to punish you, and you're going to be put into a 50-50 mix-up where either you're close enough to go for a jab or a grab, and they can either shield or jump or attack you back. Really, it adds a lot of variety to this character and adds a ton of pressure to Wolf's game plan, especially because you, the person doing the forward smash, probably know you're going to do it and have a lot more reaction time readied up because you're going to know that you're going to do it. And while it is a lot slower than it has really any right to be, it does have that one great use and is very useful. His side B, the Wolf Flash, has probably been my favorite move on him, essentially forever. Now this thing just screams style when you end off a stock with it, and in Ultimate, they actually added even more animations to match this train of thought. Other than that, this move has also been given a much bigger hitbox, and multiple hitboxes which can kill either off the top, the side, or spike. Gets comboed into with stuff like fair or late hit neutral air, and actually kills with its spike nearly around 15%. Now I should mention that if you actually use this off stage to get a spike, you will yourself die because it puts you into free fall, so take the risk as you desire, but in most cases I'm going to say worth. A final buff that I personally didn't see coming is one to his lasers. Now they go super far, do 8 to 10% depending on how far they are, and actually come out pretty quickly. These things are actually some of the best camping tools in the entire game versus slower characters or bigger characters, and also prevent you from being camped because they're transcendent, meaning that they go through all other projectiles, meaning that people can't really camp you out too much. Additionally with this, you can hit people up close with a gun as an extra hitbox and deal 16%, and overall it's kind of dumb, but I really love this part as well. As I said earlier, Wolf is very quick and has some very good defensive and offensive options, along with his speed. This means that you as Wolf can kind of play however you want. You can play super defensive utilizing your blaster and forward tilt all the time, or maybe play very offensive with well-timed nairs, grabs, and dash attacks. Both styles seem to work, and even a mix of both can be very good depending on your opponent. With that in mind, there are a few things you have to keep in mind, really no matter how well you're playing Wolf. He is first and foremost a bait and punish type character. You want to try to see what your opponent is going to be using, look at their options, wait it out and avoid it with your speed, and then hit them as hard as you possibly can. Even when hitting the opponent's shield, Wolf can actually employ the strategy with his neutral air or his forward smash, and both these put you on advantage on shield, so definitely make sure to use them. Again, as Wolf, you want to wait for your opponent's options, then outspeed and outrage them with a very high damaging punish. Now, this can be used either defensively or offensively, but that's in general the playstyle. Speaking of high damage, Wolf does a ton of percent per hit, considering his speed and his weight. In addition to this, Wolf actually has a decent amount of 2 to 3 hit combos, but I should say that the majority of his play is actually going to be in strings and mix-ups, and that's how you're going to get your damage. Oftentimes, you just want to get your opponent above you or into a disadvantageous position, and then try to punish them again and again and again, and get them into doing very bad options. But a lot of this does rely on guessing and dabbling in your opponent's habits, so remember that. Wolf's damage isn't always as free as a lot of other characters, which kind of hurts, but also can be a blessing in disguise. What is actually always free as Wolf, though, is going to be pressure from his potential throws. Now, Wolf doesn't have the best throws in the entire game, but he has some pretty darn strong ones. His up throw leads to a free up air juggle, or sometimes forward air, down throw leads to a tech chase and potential kills, and back throw is actually a kill throw. The only spacey that actually has as a kill throw is Wolf, so that's pretty cool, and it kills, relatively early. Not as early as Nest, but relatively early. These throws add a lot of pressure to your enemy's shield, which will open them up for more and more attacks, and these are really nice to keep in mind, so please make sure to throw quite a bit. Finally, remember that Wolf is honestly one of the best campers in the entire game, if you play that way. Now, few characters can actually just straight out beat Wolf's projectile, and unless they're playing a really fast character, they can't really catch up to you, so you can oftentimes just run and play that hit and run projectile based character. Now, of course, versus very, very fast foes, you won't be able to spam, the gun isn't way too quick, but against anybody other than that, using his blaster quite a bit will help you in a lot of matchups, especially against sword characters, can limit a lot of their options, and make a traditionally pretty bad matchup go into an alright one. The first techniques that you should try to learn as Wolf is going to be how to wave bounce and how to be reverse. Now, honestly, I'm just going to leave a great guide down below made by My Smash Corner, so I don't have to explain this 100%, but I'm going to explain what's good about knowing how to wave bounce, be reverse. In general, the reason you want to do this is that it will allow you to change your momentum in the air either offensively or defensively with your gun. This means that you can change the direction that you're shooting in the air, that you can move yourself around, that you can dodge a lot of attacks, and overall, knowing this tactic will give you a lot more options with your blaster, and is honestly kind of a must-know to play Wolf. Secondly, you need to learn how to actually get back onto the stage. Now, I'm going to say that as Wolf, you have a few options to first, get into the ledge in the first place. Of course, you can side B, hold up, medium, or down, and that'll kind of change the angle that you're going, but you won't actually immediately grab onto the ledge, so that is kind of risky. As well, you can just jump back towards the stage and then air dodge onto the ledge. That works out okay. Or you can just go, essentially right next to the wall of the stage and then just jump straight up B, because it actually goes around 7 units, while if you use Wolf's up B to the side, it only goes around 4 units. So, from the very beginning, learn how far your stuff goes and try to master that. Then, after you finally get used to actually getting onto the ledge, learn every single get up option, from get up attack, to roll, to jump, to falling fair. There's a lot of options. As well, try to learn every Wolf specific technique, such as falling down using side B, known as scarring, or, double jump nairing, which actually makes you just land on the platform while giving a hitbox. Kind of weird, but I think you should also try to learn as well. Just in general, think every single time you get off the stage as a very bad time, and think, what can I do to actually get back onto the stage to make so that I'm not going to die, and so that I can get my opponent off stage so I can actually be the one to go off and edgeguard with a nair. This is going to be really hard as Wolf, but if you can actually master this, if you can make so that you aren't dying all the time from your low, slow, linear recovery, you're going to be having a lot more result than a lot more other Wolf mains. And there you guys go, all the reasons to why you should be maining Wolf. Now, if you have a certain character you want me to cover in the future, comment hashtag that character name, YSUMain or WYSM, and hit the subscribe button / notification bell to actually see that guide when it eventually comes out. Now, if not, maybe comment why you want to main Wolf, or what your favorite part about Wolf is in this new game. Maybe his blaster, his forward tilt, his smashes, his side B, the Wolf flash. There's a lot of options. As always though guys, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, hit that like button or click at the top of the screen right now for a playlist of more Smash Ultimate videos like this one, specifically a why I should main on Snake. Anyways, as always guys though, thank you for watching and have a smashing day.